apart from the fluctuation in our periods, the heavy periods or very light periods, and periods that are regular, what were regular are now irregular, and you don't quite know whenever they're coming on. You kind of have to be prepared all the time. That's one of the symptoms, but there are so many others. And a lot of the things that take women by surprise are the things that happen in their brain. You know, you hear women thinking, have I got dementia? You hear women thinking, why am I anxious? I've never been anxious before. This anxiety is hitting me from sideways and I can't cope with life now. Before, or, you know, I can't think, I can't do my job. I can't do stuff. I can't relate to stuff. I just can't get on with things. And when I've done surveys, and obviously this is shared as well with national surveys and international surveys, the things that bother women the most, that take them by surprise when they go into perimenopause, are those things that affect the brain. So it's really about well-being, and sleep comes into this as well, because sleep is one of those things that if you start struggling with your sleep, then all the other things around depression and anxiety and brain fog, all of those things are going to be so much worse, because your brain needs rest and it doesn't get it if you can't sleep. And you're also more stressed, you're less resilient, you're more miserable, you know, you're more grumpy, because this is one of the other things. And this is why I call it your second teenagehood, because you start getting short-tempered. Your patience is non-existent. You're getting ratty with people, and actually you don't know why, never mind them. And the one minute you're shouting at them, the next minute you're in tears. And it's like, what the hell is happening to me here? You know, I don't know what's going on. The same causes of these things in teenagehood are what's going on now in perimenopause. The brain is getting used to a different level of hormones within it, because our brain needs our sex hormones. It needs testosterone, it needs progesterone, it needs estrogen, and it's not getting them in the same levels. So, and during this time of perimenopause, it's adjusting, and it's not quite got it right. In teenagehood, what happens in a child's brain is all the connections in the brain go, whoa, and then reconnect. It kind of refines its connections. Essentially, that's what's happening in your brain when you're in perimenopause. Your brain is going, oh, I'll just throw everything out the window for a bit while I reconnect. Now, women's white brain cells deplete during perimenopause, but after perimenopause, they increase again. So this is really refreshing, because actually during perimenopause, women perform a lot less well on mental tasks than men do. But after, they overtake them again. You know, so it's this thing about knowing that perimenopause ends as well that makes it, and that life after perimenopause is better, because you're no longer ruled by your hormones. I mean, during perimenopause, like during your teenagehood, your hormones are in disarray and they're making your life chaotic. So if you think about perimenopause as your second teenagehood, then I think we kind of learn to accept, and we tell the people around us that's what's going on. They understand it too, because, but also we're at a time in our life where we may have our children leaving home, our parents to look after, and this also messes with our heads. And in this whole time, we're losing the level of estrogen and progesterone in our system, and those are the hormones that make us want to nurture everybody else. So we kind of lose our sense of self and our sense of identity as well. And so, yeah, it's really important to understand that it's temporary. It's really important to understand it's like being a teenager again. All the things you had then, your skin, all of those things will happen again. Sorry, but they will. You know, but the scary ones, the things around the brain, the suddenly being hit with anxiety you've never had before, levels of depression. The other things you can have are medical things. Your blood pressure can go up, your cholesterol can go up, your sugar tolerance slows, so you might be more at risk of type 2 diabetes. Because if you're stressed, you're more likely to put weight along around your middle as well, because that's where, because that fat layer we deposit around our middle is where the body generates estrogen. It's making new estrogen there. So these are the reasons that we have those symptoms. There are, I think, 32 different symptoms that are identified as being linked to perimenopause. But those are the common ones.